This video is a part two in a series of videos that I'm doing about how we can think about AI as a literary graphing calculator when it comes to grading and assessment. In my last video, I gave my basic pitch of why I think AI shouldn't be considered cheating, but instead as a graphing calculator for writing and literature. But to be honest, I don't think that AI should be used on every assignment, just like good math teachers don't allow their students to use their calculator for every single assignment. So why don't math teachers let their students use graphing calculators for every single assignment or question? I think that it's because they're trying to build certain skills. And by giving students access to these tools at the right time, students are able to build those skills instead of become reliant on these technologies. And I think that that's a really valuable framing to have with AI. It's your job as the teacher to decide what skills are being taught in your class and what are the best avenues for students to explore those skills. It's possible that using an AI tool in one part of your class could help or hurt students' ability to develop those skills. And it's your job to think about it and determine when and where students will use AI in your curriculum. For example, if I'm teaching a creative writing class and students are working on figurative language, I'm going to outright ban students from using the AI to generate the figurative language that they turn in. Why? Well, first of all, I think that AI models tend to be very cliche and predictable when it comes to figurative language. And two, I want students to play around with the language themselves and see what they can come up with without any outside inputs from a machine. However, in that same creative writing class, I might encourage students to use AI at the beginning of a writing project to think of story ideas. We can use this as a chance both to unlock students who might face writer's block and be nervous to start a project by themselves, and we can use this as a chance to talk about the fact that the machine is going to give us some pretty generic ideas, and our ideas are going to be creative and go beyond these ideas to, reuse them in our own creative twist. This is when the metaphor of the graphing calculator is so helpful when it comes to assessment. Students are very comfortable with the idea of doing part of a test with a calculator and another part of it without, and it's the same thing that we're asking them to do with AI here. The AI assessment scale actually has one portion of the scale that is dedicated to these hybrid assignments where we draw very clear delineations of where AI is acceptable and where it is not. When we're proactive and we set really clear boundaries with students around these technologies, that's when we see less of an issue, and that's when we see students choosing to use these technologies in a positive way. We've faced this before in digital education with technologies like Wikipedia, where when we gave students positive use cases and explained the negative use cases, they were able to replace that negative behavior with positive behavior. If you want even more advice on how to incorporate AI into your classroom, check out my two videos, one about the AI assessment scale that gives you a really clear framework to talk about AI in projects with students, and the other one about creating AI policies and guidelines for your classroom or school. Good luck out there, and know that it is the wild, wild west at the moment. As long as you're putting time into considering your position on AI and communicating that clearly with your students, you're doing a great service to them. So continue to reflect and use platforms like this to learn and continue your education around AI. And let me know how your AI conversations are going in your classroom. I want to know what stuff is most helpful to communicate with students.